Hello, this is Casey. I'm having a problem here. There's something going on. I can't talk. I want to talk about the war on words. Could you hear me? Here. I want to talk about what I call the war on words. The war on words is not the war of words, which is what we should have. The war of words is when we debate each other on the issues that both sides of us care about. For example, if I say that I think abortion is wrong and it should be illegal, then we can have a debate and one side says abortion should be legal and the other one side says abortion should be illegal. There's a difference between that and if I make a slip of the tongue and say, I think all firemen are jerks. And then later on, someone attacks me and says, hey, Casey, why'd you say all firemen are jerks? What are you going to do when your house is on fire and you call the fire department? Are you going to say, hey, jerk, come over here? You know, that's a good point, right? So I might come back and say, I didn't mean all firemen are jerks. It's just that all firemen that I've met seem to be real jerks, and I really do appreciate what they do. I'm sorry I didn't mean to say it that way. It came out the wrong way. I slipped. Yeah, I probably shouldn't have said that. Blah, blah, blah. But then people continue to attack me and attack me on an issue that I'm not taking a stand on. I'm not here doing an anti-fireman video, right? I'm just basically, during the course of what I was saying, mentioned something about firemen, that I had, negative experiences with firemen, and now everybody attacks me, and then the media will take that and distort it and all that if I was some big celebrity. So that is the problem. There's so many people, they're super hypersensitive. Now, in the past, it has been an issue with the liberals. So I want to give you an example of a case where I see reverse political correctness. In other words, I don't know what such a thing is. Not reverse political, but conservative political correctness. Now, before I start, I should tell you, this is coming from the view of a traditionalist. I don't really want to use the word conservative. I don't like to use the word right-wing, left-wing. I'm a traditionalist, which means that I value what we have learned as a society over the past through our religion and through our what do you call it, American civilization, basically, that we've learned valuable lessons in the past and that those are valuable. So that's where I come from politically. I value that more than just cleaning up the slate and starting all over. That would be the opposite end of the spectrum. The progressives would say, let's just forget everything we've learned in the past and let's just, that would be an extreme view of progressive. Let's forget about everything we've learned in the past and just go forward. Nobody really believes that, but I'm just saying that's the extreme view. So I tend to have more respect for things in the past than I think the average person does, maybe. I don't know. So, and with that, there's debates. And so what I'm talking about is how conservatives seems to be attacking the view over something that they said about nurses. Now, I went back and watched the video, and I feel that I'd have to watch it again, and I don't really have time to watch it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't change my point. I'm not talking about the facts. I'm just talking about hypothetical situations. But let's just say the view, let's just say that I think that perhaps the media is distorting what the View said, and that the View was just simply being silly, trying to be funny and obnoxious. They're on TV. They're trying to get ratings. They're trying to get people's attention. They're trying to make you laugh. They're trying to make, sympathize with maybe people that are like them that watch the show, which seems to be a lot of liberal people. They basically come in and they don't like pageants, probably. I didn't really see it in context, but I would imagine they probably are critical of beauty pageants. And some of the points that they might have, like, for example, it's kind of pretentious, I agree with. I think it's kind of pretentious, but that's just what they do. That's what pageants do. They have a right to do what they do. I'm not going to watch it. I don't like pageants. I don't like beauty pageants. That's it. Leave it alone. But anyway, they're attacking beauty pageants, I suppose, and this one girl comes up and she's wearing a stethoscope, and she's wearing this uniform, and the people in the View saw that, and they said, she came up wearing a doctor's stethoscope, and she's saying that that's not her real job or something like that. Well, it seems like the media is distorted to say that they think nursing is not a real job. And I don't think that's what they're saying. What they're saying was they're kind of poking fun at her for wearing a doctor's stethoscope when she really wasn't a doctor or a nurse. From what I gather, she was like volunteering to be help people, but she wasn't really a nurse. I'm not sure, but I don't really know the story. What I'm saying is, let's suppose I'm right about what happened. Let's say the media distorts, and we know the media does that. Okay, so there people are doing all these things about The View, and they're saying let's boycott all the people that put their ads, and the people that put their ads up are boycotting The View, and there's this big uproar. Okay, now I hate The View because they are really ridiculous. They're very ultra progressive. They don't seem to have any common sense, which is something that a lot of conservatives say, because we believe in things from the past, which is kind of common sense. You know, we've known how to do things correctly. Why do we have to change things all of a sudden? And so they have all these radical views. And so, yeah, I mean, I'm happy to see The View doing terrible in ratings, and I'm happy to see, you know, I wish their show would get canceled, you know, but they have the right to have that show. And they also, what they said was not, they don't stand by what they're saying. They're not on an anti-nurse rant. They're not sitting there putting out videos about nurses saying how terrible nurses are and that nurses should all be shot and F the nurses and all this, right? They're not doing that. I think they respect the establishment of nurses. You know, they may be anti-cops, and I have a really big problem with that. I really hate what the liberals are doing about cops, you know, saying about cops. So that's what's going on. So now let's look at what Donald Trump said. Donald Trump has said things in the past, and he used the word bimbo in regards to women. He talked about Carly Fiorina's face in a way that seemed to suggest that he was saying that she was kind of ugly. She's not the most beautiful woman I've seen. She dresses nice. She looks pretty as far as she can, you know. She's not the ugliest woman I've ever seen, but that's not about what she looks like. I just thought I'd throw that in. But so anyway, you know, Megyn Kelly confronted Donald Trump, you know, in the debate. You know, it's a debate. You're supposed to debate the issues, and part of the issues is how is he going to handle the liberal media that are really hypersensitive about political correctness when they see tweets of him calling women bimbos and all that stuff, right? And then what does he do? You know, he attacks Megyn Kelly. He's all, you know, going to attack her and all this thing. What I say is, he said, this is not the time for political correctness. I agree with that. I really agree with that. There's two sides of this coin. That's what I'm trying to get, and I have to kind of go refer to my notes. One is, you know, when someone says something that's stupid, insensitive, yes, that does reflect on their character. What Donald Trump, what you say or me say, what we say, it's hard to take that back because that shows where our heart is at any given moment. If I say something mean to somebody, okay, unless I say something accidentally and you just twist it in the wrong way, which does happen, that bothers me. That's totally wrong, of course. Someone says something and twists it in the wrong way, then that's just simply bad. In Trump's case, he's doing this, I think, on purpose. He's saying bimbo on purpose. He's saying stuff about Carly Fiorina's face on purpose. That reflects on your character. That reflects on what he thinks of women. That reflects on a lot of different things. Don't read too much into it, but I think he's not wise in saying that. He needs to learn to control his tongue and need to learn how to be more eloquent and more better give his message. And he's not doing a good job with me. I'm not going to vote for him. I don't like Trump. Okay, I like other conservative candidates like Ben Carson, even Carly Fiorina. I sort of like her, and so on. But so there's two sides of this. One is, yes, if you say something stupid, people should call you out and say, that was a really stupid thing to say. You were an idiot. You know, I mean, that's fine. Okay, you say that. But there's another thing when someone says something stupid and then you have a whole campaign against them over something that they said that later on they say, I slipped, you know, I made a mistake, I shouldn't have said that. Nobody's perfect. You know, so we say stupid things. You know, The View said something. I think they twisted it around to mean something different. The View said that was. I think that she said that's not her real job. They didn't mean to say that is not a real job. See the difference? Not her job. That means she's not really a nurse in real life. That's what they were saying. That she was wearing a costume to make it look like she was a nurse, but she wasn't. That's a good point. The other thing would be if, you know, what not the liberal media, but just the media in general, because Fox is getting on this too. What Fox and everybody else is doing is they're saying that it was, she said that nurses is not a real profession. Okay, that I don't think is what The View said. See, so that's the problem with taking one thing somebody says and twisting it around. Now, there's so many tons of issues that we could have heated debates about, and occasionally insults come out, and I think that's natural and that's normal, and people should be feel free to call each other idiots, because that expresses your frustration with points of views that you find don't have any common sense. I think it's really idiotic to think that global warming is worse than the threat we have with ISIS and the threat we have with Islamic terrorism. I think it's ridiculous to not call it what it is. It's Islamic terrorism. There's extremist Christians. I'm a Christian, and I can call it what it is. If I see extremist Christians out there, oh yeah, like what's it called? Westboro Baptist Church. They're extreme wacko Christians. You know, there's no problem with calling it like it is, but some people can't even say Islam. So yeah, I'm upset about a lot of stuff. I'm angry because we're about to go into World War III because of terrible policies, and I'm extremely concerned. But it's no time to call women bimbos and you know, it's not the time to call women bimbos and to insult people their looks and to get on spats back and forth on Twitter about people, personal attacks against people. It's not the time for that. You know, I agree, it's not the time for political correctness, but it's also not the time for flame wars, and it's not the time for the war on words.